Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our 12th episode of Game Masters 911. I am your host, GeoQuester, and to my left is my lovely wife and assistant and co-hostess, the mistress of dorkness herself, Susie Q.
Good evening, my lovelies. Whew. What a show, what a show. As you can see, folks, I'm all a tingle and all a tizzy, and I'm all excited. Whew, this is cool. I'm loving it. Okay, folks. Now, I got some things to get off my chest. This is the last show of 2016. Now, for those of you who don't know, 2016 has taken our prince. It has taken our king. And damn it, now it has taken our princess. I'm saying tonight and this weekend, we are going to burn this mother to the ground. I am done with 2016.
We can't burn this mother to the ground.
Why?
Because 3 days ago, the man who played the Heat Miser passed away.
I'm done. I'm done, folks. I'm done. Do you hear me? If y'all are done with me, just put a big old smiley face in the chat if y'all are done with 2016, because I don't know about the rest of y'all, but this year can just it is going to be the year that never existed.
Well, yeah. Why don't we go ahead? All right, everybody, give me a wall of feels bad man for 2016. Everybody, and then we can go ahead and get this mother started. We have a special guest in our house this evening. We have Mr. Robert Adducci, the community manager for Adventurers League and for Fantasy Grounds. Hello, Robert.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going fantastically.
Awesome.
How was your 2016?
I'm with you, Susie. I'm ready to burn this down as well.
I'm a little mad. It took up, I could have given him Bowie. I was okay with Bowie. I was sad, but I was okay with Bowie. Prince pissed me off, but you know what? I'll go with it. Leia, I'm done. Nope. Leia was the straw right there.
Well, don't forget Professor Snape.
Snape.
Bunch of them.
Snape.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, she's waving her hands everywhere like you can see her at the moment. So she's speaking with her hands at the moment. She's speaking in thumbs. But all right, let's go ahead and move on. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions for Mr. Adducci, by the way, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, good. All right, I just want to make sure I'm actually pronouncing it correctly because I'd really feel like an ass considering I actually misspelled your name almost for an entire week. I forgot a D.
Oh, yeah.
So, but if anybody has any questions, make sure to PM them to any one of our GeoMods or to Miss Susie Q, and we will get them asked on air. But while we're getting the chat involved, we actually have a few already set and ready to go for you.
Yep.
Our first question for you, sir, is how many characters are you allowed to have connected to your DCI number?
Well, not really no limit. Characters really aren't connected to DCI number is just for if you're playing at a store, kind of attendance can have as many characters as you.
Really? So if I wanted to just run the same game for like 10 gamers every single night of the week for like a month straight, I could do that using the same DCI number.
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, like everybody has one DCI number, and all that DCI number does is like kind of track play at store. You don't need it for. Sometimes you need it. That's about it.
Ah.
So basically, you can have any number of characters for one DCI number for that one person. Um, how many times can a person play a specific AL adventure? Like, for example, Defiance and Flan.
Yeah, so there's no limit on that either. The only limit is each character can mod one. Even if you die in the middle.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Alrighty, now we're gonna switch gears a little bit. You are the founder of the Burnt World of Athos, are you not?
I am.
So you've been running that since what, the mid '90s, haven't you?
Yeah, I started it in '95, though I did take a break. Thousands.
Awesome.
Still pretty much running it. I just kind of back in and.
Yeah, you're breaking up really, really badly here. How's your connection?
Fine on this end. Never done.
Oh, never done the Discord chat before?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. It could be just the, we're having some weird storms out here in this neck of the woods, but I'm having really actually very good connectivity today.
Yeah, I mean, I was having some general internet past 20.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So internet issues on your side. This is going to be interesting.
We'll get through it. No worries.
Yes, my our viewers here are very, very understanding. So that's always a good thing. Alrighty. Let me see. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to please ask your questions. We do have some more in here. What, Robert, do you do as the community manager for Fantasy Grounds?
So for Fantasy Grounds, I kind of pay attention to what the team is doing, whether that's adding product or announcement, trying to keep the community engaged. So I'm kind of going around and looking at all the YouTube videos that people are posting. A lot of the stuff by Dave, the director, yourself, and whoever else is kind of putting out cool videos there, whether they are actual plays or whether they're kind of tutorials or whatever. Also, just kind of watching anywhere Fantasy Grounds is mentioned, anywhere online, Facebook, Twitter, any of the anywhere like that, and kind of making sure that Fantasy Grounds is represented. What's happening about them.
Awesome. Very cool. So you really, you basically, you spend your entire day on the internet scrubbing social media is basically what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm just making. I just go talk to people, and if people have questions, make sure that their questions get answered. I mean, if I can't answer them, make sure somebody grounds can answer, or I'll Doug, who's get an answer back, forums or anywhere.
Do you ever get an opportunity to run games?
I have not run Fantasy Grounds yet. I've been working with them for almost a year. but I'm change that beginning of this year here. I'll have 2 quick just Saturday games for a few friends of mine. Then I kind of hope to once I'm comfortable with. But I have been playing pretty regularly in Fantasy Ground. A bunch of the Fantasy Ground. Rachel Vin.
And I have to apologize once again to the stream because Robert is breaking up very hard. There's between his location out in the South Midwest and here in the Northeast, we are both having some technical difficulties. So if you are unable to hear us, thank you for sticking with us a little bit. Okay, now let me see. I know that there are 5 factions in Faerun for the Adventurers League. Is there plans to add more factions?
There's nothing that I've heard of to add any more factions. Could add kind of mini factions here and there if we, but probably gonna stick the 5 big factions for now.
Okay.
Okay. I actually have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay. Are there plans to start an official Adventure League Twitch streaming team since online AD&D AL is really starting to take off?
Did talk about streaming some games run by Wizards and the admins. And that's something that probably won't happen yet for until maybe C7, so kind of at the basically the end of next year. But other than that, there's nothing concrete we talked about.
Okay, and what does Season 6 hold for the Adventurers League?
Well, I can't really say anything about that until Wizards. Once they make their announcements, then we can start talking about how that's going to affect us. However, there are a couple of things I can't mention kind of what it's about, but a couple of things are that we're going to have a couple of adventures in ways that we've done them before. So we'll have some tier 4 content. So that's 17 to 20. That will be linked. There'll be one adventure by myself, and that will be tier 4 epic adventure that will be linked with, or that will be by Alan Patrick. And then each of the other adventures will be by another admin, and the content this next season.
Oh, this is sounding good. Unfortunately, his voice breaks up just as like the good bits of information are about ready to come out, which I think he's doing on purpose.
Yeah.
I do hear that there is something epic coming for ALCon.
Yeah, the Adventures League Online Con, they're gonna have second epic that we're putting out. It'll be interesting to see how that works online. It's a different situation. We have the epic in a big room with a bunch of people, and there's admins that can run around the different tables and whatnot. But having it online, it will have to be kind of through chat or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I can't wait. I really can't wait. I want to see how this goes. Are you going to be using any specific tabletop type thing? Are you going to be using like Roll20 or D20 Pro or Fantasy Grounds in order to do the Epic online?
No, I mean each DM can whatever software they want to use. We're going to be using TeamSpeak server to all of the our rooms so that the admins.
Okay.
I know our chat is going like gaga over Epic Online and ooh, squishy.
Yeah, it should be cool. Side I've been wanting to Epic Online for a couple of now, and I'm glad we are.
Yeah, I mean, I know that as a player and as a GM, I can't wait to see it all. And oh, thanks, Chris, for grabbing the links and stuff for us. Yeah, Chris is throwing up the links for ALCon in our chat right now for us. So now you mentioned authors for the tier 4 set of adventures. How difficult is it to become an Adventure League author?
It's the difficulty is going to be really in the amount of content we have, which is not a lot, and so that means that there's going to be a lot of people vying for that content. To be so you've got to get noticed by. Right now, we're really looking that have put stuff up on the DMs Guild, gotten good reviews, noticing, and as a result, we're noticing. So that's really your best thing. If anybody wants to become a designer for Adventures League, put something up on the DMs Guild, specifically Adventures. That's what we're. Better if you put adventure up that maybe ties to one of our previous adventures, and that is in a similar format, and kind of use same layout and same flow. That's going to have a much better.
Okay. All right. I understand that entirely. For those of you who missed the basic information for it is basically you need to be a DM's Guild author of adventures that mimic, not necessarily copy, but mimic the Adventure League output and have basically a very professional look to them in order to get noticed. So for those of you who are aspiring writers out there, and I know there's quite a few of you who pick my brain on a regular basis about being a game designer, yeah, definitely check this out and see if you guys can get in there. I would like to say I knew you when. Alrighty. Do we have any other questions, Susie Q?
I've got nothing for Robert. I've just got stuff for you and me, but we could ask Robert if you want.
I'm okay with that. Robert, are you willing to ask some Game Master questions?
Sure.
Okay. Why should I use Fantasy Grounds instead of sticking to face-to-face games?
I think one of the cool things about Fantasy Grounds is something you can't. Maybe you sort of can, but I really like the fact that you can type your character knows, and only other characters that have that language will be able to understand what you type. So it's just adds another level of immersion, I think, to the game. You can also kind of type like what your character is feeling or think can't really do in person game. Say my character, but it's just different when you can see it. Everyone's still kind of talking, voice. Everyone's still talking, but you still see people typing other things in the chat. And it kind of just gives another level to the game that you don't get at an in game.
I have to agree with that because I like the I like being able to like whisper other players and not having the players that I'm not whispering know that I'm talking to that specific player. I really like that.
Yeah.
I personally, as a game master, I prefer now if somebody says, should we run Fantasy Grounds or should we play face to face? To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, if you have the opportunity of playing face to face, please play face to face. That way you guys get the FaceTime with your friends. After all, these people are supposed to be your friends that you're playing with. They're not just, a group of strangers. For those of us who don't have the opportunity to be able to play at home, either we have children or scheduling or what have you, Fantasy Grounds is a great alternative to that. I, as a game master, love being able to run face to face because I get my body language into everything, and you know, some of those characters that come jumping off the page at you, like we'll use Ravenloft, Mother, what's her name there, the hag that cooks babies. Oh, spoiler alert. Uh,
No. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like twisting my body up like I'm an old crone and coming at you with my hands all clawed up. Make that the silly faces and everything like that. I enjoy doing that to my players. You can't really do that online unless you have face cameras and stuff, but you can utilize your face. You can utilize like Fantasy Grounds or Roll20 or D20 Pro. You can utilize those at home in your face-to-face games. Rob Toohey, who's one of the game masters in our chat right now, he actually uses it in one of his home games to roll dice, to use the maps, and to do things like the fog of war on the maps, so that way he doesn't have to reveal an entire map to his players.
Yeah, in one of my upcoming games, I definitely plan to use Grounds in person for all those. Kind of decided to be combat tracker to see how many hit points players have, and I feel like you could make the game a lot more exciting knowing exactly how many hit points players have, so that X amount of one hit point exciting for them. Aspect of person play.
Okay. Yeah, the combat tracker is probably one of the biggest draws that, like, we have a lot of people that we bring from Roll20 into Fantasy Grounds in our community, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join our Discord community, please be sure to do so. But we have a lot of people that come over from Roll20 and they want to see what Fantasy Grounds is all about, and that combat tracker hooks them every single time. All right, what's our next one, Susie?
Ooh, a question for Robert. Do you have any adventures up on the DM's Guild?
Yeah, I do. I've got 5 right now. They're all adventures, but I've written 1 or 2. Raiders of the Twilight Marsh, my best seller. It's from 1. It's 5 to 10 adventure. The gives you the opportunity, the possibility to fight a black dragon. Adventure to do. It's a pretty popular one. My author-only adventures that admins basically were the only ones.
Yeah, I've got a list of those right here in front of me too. The author onlys.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of those and putting those on, but one of my author onlys is extension of Raiders of the Twilight Marsh.
That really actually sounds kind of interesting. I kind of want to play it now.
Would that author only be DDAO 12 Dragons of Fire and Death?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, now I kind of want to play that one too.
That's a really good one.
If he does say so himself, right? Okay. All right, Susie Q. What else do we got going on?
Okay, one of our patrons actually wants us to go over the benefits of using Fantasy Grounds.
Benefits of using Fantasy Grounds.
He says just a summary. He understands about time.
I mean, I think the biggest benefit is obviously being able to play at home without leaving the house, especially Denver, we can get a snowstorm. And snowstorm. My game, my in-person game. It's nice to never, not have to leave your house. You can 30-minute drive time back. Optional.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. That, and I like the like, I don't have to play with the people in my area. I can play with people on the West Coast. I can play with people in different countries, which I actually do on a regular basis, which is it's been kind of nice. I've had, I think, 3 games at this point where I've played with people who are actually in Europe, and that's like amazing. Another benefit of using Fantasy Grounds is, now, for those of you who play in Geo's games, and he just recently started doing this, is the countdown timer for the combat tracker. I really like that. That kind of forces people into action.
Yeah, I definitely like. That's one of the advantages of playing on Fantasy Grounds. I also, I mean, to be honest, Fantasy Grounds allows you to play D&D without wearing any pants. Um, it sounds kind of silly, but when you're sitting in one location gaming with your friends for X amount of hours, after a while, especially being a parent, I don't role play until late in the evening. And after my kids go to bed and I'm able to wind down, and I've been dressed up and wearing all sorts of stuff throughout the day, I can take my pants off.
Yeah, I agree with that. For those of you who don't know, I'm a social worker, so I have to wear heels and dress clothes and crap like that all day long. And I'm sorry, it's kind of nice to let all my fat hang out.
Yeah, yeah. And that also kind of goes into the why we don't use face cams, is because we don't wear pants.
Another one of the huge
Pretty much.
Bonuses Fantasy Grounds is just the automation combat. I mean, you can just select a number of enemies, select your attack or your spell, and it kind of all attack roll.
Oh yeah, all that automation is amazing. Not needing to know, okay, I got a bonus for this. This is resistant to that. So how much damage do I do? Not
Right.
needing to do math, that basic math at the table, because it's taken care of for you, is amazing. I love doing that. Oh, and for those of you who are Pathfinder fans, wasn't it just there was a nice announcement on Thursday last week, Robert?
Yeah, we just announced that we're gonna have official Pathfinder content, and we're gonna have all the lore that didn't really have before, because we had the SRD content for Pathfinder, but now all the lores, all the maps are gonna be there for all the adventure put in. It's gonna be something to see. Pathfinder has a lot of rules, and I think about a lot.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. I love the SRD for Pathfinder since they're pretty open when it comes to a lot of their content. But being able to include all the adventure paths and all the lore and everything, that is going to be freaking amazing.
Yeah, I think the new theme that they've got worked up looks awesome too. With all the little goblins in it. It's gonna be a big.
Oh, so we actually get the Pathfinder Goblin tokens?
Yeah, as like the little themes for the buttons that are on the right side, all goblins.
Sweet!
Squeak!
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I know what I'm going to be ripping off and putting into like every one of my tables ever is putting those buttons on the sides.
Crap, goblins. Damn it. This just means goblins everywhere. Oh, this is no bueno. You've just, no, I got to see some of the new Pathfinder stuff, and it looks just like the little splash pagey stuff that oh my god.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
So, since you haven't really gotten to run a game yet, Robert, in Fantasy Grounds, would you like to have an opportunity to run a spot game?
Bot game.
We can discuss that away from the chat, since I just kind of sprung that on you suddenly. I'll talk to you away from the show about possibly getting together with you and maybe getting you to possibly run something.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we have another question. One of our longtime viewers, first-time questioners, wants to know how long you've been with WotC.
I've been a contractor, which is the Coast 2014, right before announcement of put out a call on Sophia, that they wanted admin or organized play. That, and then later they asked us for a resume and a gaming resume. So I filled that out and kind of made my gaming resume like I tried to spruce it up a bit. I made it look like it was on graph paper, and I got some quotes from people that I had worked with before, and some friends about in the game community. And I think friends and like folks like Tim Brown, Dark Sun, had to say got me the job.
Awesome. Very, very cool.
Now, do you have any questions for either of us?
How much time do you spend for each of your games prep?
Oh boy. Well, as you know, right now, from the beginning of December until the beginning of March, my main campaign, which is the Wraithborn campaign, it has a time off. It has like a 4-month period off. Because during that time period, I am writing the next season's worth of encounters and adventures. But it typically takes me, let's see, for a Delver Society game, it takes me anywhere between 2 days and possibly 4 days to put that together. For session zeros, for ongoing campaigns, it takes me roughly a day to 2 days to tailor it to a specific PC. But my campaign, it could take up to a month to make sure that everything is set and ready to go.
How about your stream? Like, one of the things that I've been start running Fantasy Grounds a bit more, kind of start streaming it. One of these days, you don't have to do it now, but just one here, just sort of the tools to kind of make the stuff, where you get the background that's there right now with all the flashing light, just all those sort of little things. I'd be interested.
I find like the overlays and my background images and stuff, like I did a Google search for free, license-free looping video, background videos that people would use for like their desktop backgrounds. That's where I got those from. Overlays, I've watched YouTube videos inside and out just to see how to make a lot of these different overlays. So I've taken a lot of time to do that. And to be honest, a lot of this is just practice. A lot of practice.
And yes, Schmo Geo is amazing at Photoshop and all things graphic-y. He, believe it or not, guys, he actually spends a lot of time on these graphics, and he'll sit down and I'll walk in and he'll be sitting here tweaking them and poking at them and going, "Hey, look at this, isn't this cool?" And he'll throw up a splash page, and I'm like, no, no, no. What color is that? What color is that? I'm like, dude, really? Now, keep in mind, guys, Geo is colorblind, and I don't mean like a little bit colorblind. He's kind of funky about. I mean, this man can't see color. So he'll throw up these splash pages and it's like chartreuse and purple. And I'm like, no, no, no. And he's like, what? What's wrong with it? I'm like, oh, man, we got to take care of this. So the colors that you see are usually ones that I have sat down and been like, all right, you need to change that to this color, that to this color, this to that color, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, Susie gives me approved colors to use. So that's why almost all my maps have the same colors and stuff in them, is because Susie has approved those colors.
Yes, yes, I have. Okay, we have another question. Okay, this is from Lord Withers. I'm kind of new to 5th edition, and I've heard about necromancers in D&D. Oh god, necromancers. How would somebody go about making one? Is it just a modified wizard, or is there an official class to it? I'm really interested in the concept and would like some input.
So I would say, assuming you're trying to make one for player character, part of the wizard. But if you're trying to make one as an the thing about 5th edition is you don't really have to make character their rules. You're making a bit stat them up according to monster rules, and then add some powers and attacks and spells and
Yeah, I mean, doing the powers and the abilities in the monsters for NPC wise is totally easy. But yes, well, it actually depends on what you want to play. If you're a wizard, you can take necromancy as your specialty school. If you're playing a warlock, you take what is it? The Pact of... What's the undead one?
Don't look at me. I don't play wizards.
Undying. That's what it is. Pact of the Undying. And I think sorcerers don't have an undead one, do they, Robert?
no.
Not unless somebody made it up and put it online somewhere.
Right, yeah, nothing official. Sure, I'm sure there's some.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Well, I'm sure Robert understands that there is the bad word that we won't say on ours, so we just won't say that.
I'm not even saying it to Robert. I'm just saying it to people in general, those watching the stream, those who will watch the stream later, those who may catch the stream in the far off future. Please, nudge, nudge, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, cough, cough. Make the freaking minty.
Yeah, there's the bad word. Now, Robert, as a professional designer yourself, that word scares you, doesn't it?
No, not at all. I think people will make up their own stuff. I mean, that's what the game's about. It only becomes not that bad word, get paid for it all of a sudden. I mean, other than that, like, there's not a whole lot. Maybe some play.
Correct. Playtest definitely does help out, especially when it's a group of people that aren't related to or friends with the creator.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's how you fix the broken parts of your quote-unquote homebrew.
Yeah, it's playtest.
We yeah, but friends and people related to the writer are really, really good at finding those little holes and quirks and tweaks and
yeah, so they can exploit them.
For all the stuff that we or Adventures League, like the adventures, writing content as far as like classes. You know, we write them up, and then I try to run them my own. I just have a people I play with occasionally. I'll call people up and be like, "Yeah, I need to play test together and play test times," and then send it out. Once I think, then the real test comes. Aren't your friends and how you write? They will find all the stuff you're reading, wrote. You just sort of fill in the blanks because meant when you other people see them, that's when your flaws really come that as much as possible. But send that to. We have a list of about 100 of our 100 different playtest groups back, and
Yeah, you guys have a pretty large playtest group. I mean, you had what 150,000 people for 5th edition when it was still D&D Next.
oh yeah, that's for the coast. I was kind of talking about the adventures list, but the Wizards of the Coast group, they still send out stuff. Right now, you kind of just send out adventure. Actually, that's not true. They've sent out other stuff, but as they send out everything, PDF document that you get to play with the group, and they also put Survey Monkey out there, and they know how you put content through its paces to that it works well. Player content, ask how it stacks up against other stuff that's already published, which actually the surveys are pretty much like surveys that have been coming out or the on Monday, Unearth Arcane. It's just like that, basically. I don't know how many people private.
That's awesome. I like the fact that they're keeping a pretty. I mean, Adventurers League does this. WotC does this. They're keeping everything pretty transparent when it comes to their playtest anymore. Anybody who's basically able to, both groups seem to try to get a hold of people on a regular basis to keep testing.
Yep.
So we had a question about that last week, and I have to say I'm really happy with the direction that Wizards of the Coast and Adventurers League has gone with 5th edition, because it brings it kind of back to that old mom and pop shop of the old days of TSR. That reminds me of what that's what 5th edition reminds me of right now, is those old days, and it really feels very comfortable right now.
Yeah, I really like how Mike Merles and Jeremy Crawford are really accessible on Twitter, and if you have a question, you could ask them, but also just the Trevor who does for them, you could ask them questions. Vest ad are on our Facebook group, Twitter, and everywhere. Ask questions, So yeah, it or a really cool feeling, because I feel like when I grew up, the 90s started playing, late 80s, 90s, I played with. Have so this larger community line is
You broke up real bad towards the end on that one, so I kind of missed the very end.
I was just saying that it's great that there's a larger community, that kind of going out with Susie, eat and talk with people. Great that really have this group.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm really enjoying the fact that a lot of the guys that I got to work with in 3rd edition when I was a freelancer for various things, they're now getting into like the nice big. They're sitting in the big boys chairs now. Like Mike Merles. He and I both wrote on Crypt of the Devilich for Goodman Games. We also wrote multiple Dungeon Crawl classics together. Not together. I mean, he wrote some, I wrote some. always around the same time as each other, so we both worked in the same places at the same time. And I'm really happy to see him succeed. I'm really happy to see Keith Baker when Eberron had originally come out. I'm really happy to see him succeed. So these are very, very cool things to see that all these very good writers that come from the community are now the ones who are leading the charge in the community to make all of our gaming experiences better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, with that, like, we were young, things that are now not so cool, comic books, Star Wars and everything, and now geeks have inherited all of those companies, awesome things.
Yeah.
Definitely, us geeks have really kind of stepped forward from back when we were growing up. If you were into those things, you were kind of shunned and shoved around a little bit, and now it's kind of like our kids are little comic book geeks, and they're like some of the coolest kids in freaking school now.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
So, Robert, do you have any other questions for us?
And I can think of right now.
Alrighty. Well, in that case, we'll turn it over to our people in chat. This could be scary sometimes when we let them loose. So, all right, people in chat, you tell me, what do you guys want?
Doo-doo-doo-doo. I hear crickets chirping. Uh-oh.
See, I've recently discovered that anybody who is a professional, aka anybody who's been paid to do any sort of game design, intimidates my Discord chat. I have been told that no less than twice in 24 hours.
Yeah, we don't get that either.
Amongst RPG folks, like, no, I don't know. There's every person that I've met, that writer, been great people. One of them I've not had a maybe I've not been around the industry enough to run into the not so nice folk, but the last few Gen Cons I've been to, fantasy, everywhere, everyone I've met is just and really helpful, fun to be around.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. We're, for the most part, most of us are pretty good. Those who are not so nice tend to find themselves the door quickly.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, we've been to quite a few cons, and I don't think we've really run into any of the not so nice people. I mean, like meeting Dave Arnson was a huge treat. I mean, he was really one of the nicest guys you would ever meet.
Looks
And
like sorry, go ahead.
And honestly, he was one of the greatest guys to work for as well. He was, I mean, just absolutely fantastic. We got to work with him on when Geo wrote Blackmore. We got to work with him, and I got to go over like some of the OGL and OGC and SRD stuff with him and work out like contracts and stuff like that. And Dave was probably more versed in OGC and OGL than anybody I've ever met. And he was more than willing to sit down and explain stuff to people. Just absolutely fantastic guy. Dustin Klingman, who at that point was running the Blackmore project, really great guy. Little dorky, but really great guy. Joseph Goodman from Goodman Games, again, really fantastic guy to work for.
We have a question from the chat for you, Robert. Do you play any games on Twitch anywhere?
I play on the Fantasy Grounds Twitch, so twitch.tv grounds. every Sunday, more or less, we play in Adventures League game. Although we're kind of moving away, or kind of standard D&D. Started the Storm King's Thunder adventure, so checking that out every Sunday at what time is that? 9
Yeah, I think it's at 9 Eastern. Yeah.
Okay, what specifically do you not allow in games where player characters are concerned, and why?
My own personal like home games, I really don't like people. I can be lawful evil as long as you get along with the. I'm happy to that, but I don't really like backstabbing and stuff like that. Not if I want to do that, I'll play Vampire.
That's my exact feeling about the World of Darkness too. It's like you play World of Darkness so you can dress up like a goth and you can stab each other in the back. But it's fun.
Pretty much. And our chat wants to know what is your favorite character ever, or what is your favorite character type?
I don't get to play a lot, so I don't really have a favorite character. But when I do play, like for any game that I kind of start out with, if it's a fantasy game, I almost always will like an elf ranger. Kind of started with basic elf. It was started with AD&D.
Ooh, so, I love the basic elves.
Kind of, yeah. So that's kind of what I've always.
And finally, we have people who want to know about Iron Maidens.
Oh, God. Iron Maidens. All right. Well, Robert, you haven't gotten to hear about this one yet, I don't think. You were only a part of my Discord for like 2.5 seconds before I kidnapped you into our special room. Iron Maidens, which happens to be splashing up in the corner right now, for those of you who haven't gotten to see it, it's called Magic and Mayhem in Space. It utilizes the 5th edition D&D rule set, the basic mechanics only. It has entirely new character classes, entirely new character species, and entirely new character backgrounds that are based around space fantasy. Being able to not only fly in a spaceship, but cast a fireball at the alien coming through the door. It utilizes lasers and pulse weapons, and the Iron Maidens game specifically was initially intended to be a social construct. It was an experiment about something I had read on one of the Dungeons and Dragons 5e Facebook pages about the fact that female gamers are the gentler of the genders, and therefore their games are not nearly as hardcore as what male gamers are. Which you can hear Susie laughing in the background right now. So I said, you know what? I'm going to run an all-female game. I'm expecting to get maybe 3 or 4 girls females who want to play this game. I've actually had to start turning women away from playing this game because I now have 7 players and there are so many more who want to play in this. And we just started this week making characters. And the girls right now are in chat yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering because they are like the biggest kick-ass women on the planet. And they are going to take Twitch by storm with their guns blazing, fireballs flying, and claws out. These women are going to just blow everybody clean out of the water with what this game is going to allow them to do. And I just have to say that if it wasn't for 5th edition and the ability to utilize little bits and pieces from other games and put them together into a mechanic that is so easy for anybody to modify, this wouldn't be possible. And these women are definitely just they're already entertaining. I mean, we had 4 out of the 7 of them yesterday make characters, and it honestly took 14 and a half, 15 hours to make 4 characters. And it wasn't because it was a difficult process of making a character. It was because it took 3 hours for them to tell me their backstory. I mean, they've written books. I mean, these ladies are ready to go. And the gentlemen who are in chat have been dying to unlock the doorway that is the Iron Maiden's special channel, where they have their little chat that even, hey, even Eraser can't go in there for more than 2 seconds. He goes in, he's like, nope, can't do it, and he leaves. So, I mean, I can't wait to see what these ladies do, and I'm probably going to lose all my hair running the game.
Sounds awesome. So are the ships like Spelljammer ships, or are they like Star Wars, Star Trek ships?
They are more like Star Wars, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica type ships. And I guess I can ruin a little bit or give a teaser for the plot. The opening scene for the young ladies and their characters, which every one of them is playing a female character so far, and they're all female players, is there are a few of them who have been incarcerated. They are the quote-unquote bad girls. And there are a few of them who did the incarcerating. They are the quote-unquote good girls. And they are on their way to the prison space station of the Iron Star aboard their transport ship when it is attacked. So that is the opening scene for the very first session of Iron Maidens, which will be played towards the end of January.
Sounds fun.
Oh, I can't wait. We are already talking about having the female version of teabagging. We're calling it the taco slap.
Ouch.
I know. Okay, so last question of the night. This comes from Ty, who's one of our Geo minions. So what do you do when you have modules, equipment, pre-made campaigns, etc. prepared, but you want to make a campaign your own and you don't know where to start?
So, start with the characters.
Yeah, definitely start with the characters. Their backgrounds.
Once you start playing, once they grab onto something, players are notorious for just grabbing onto very small details and running with it. So just kind of go with that, and then just sort of massage the game and put the stuff that you already have prepared into where the characters are heading.
Yeah, definitely. The players, if you're going to be running a long-standing campaign that is not based on a pre-written module, if you're going to be doing a home campaign that you want to make sure is 100% your own, let the players dictate what happens. And then, as the game master, have the world react to what the players do. I mean, you may set the stage for that initial encounter of, hey, there's goblin bandits attacking the town, which is it's a trope because it's been used so often. But what the players do from there, that could surprise you as a game master. I mean, they could go up and they could be diplomatic with the goblins and broker a new peace. Now that they brokered a new peace with the town, there's an entirely different adventure because now this town is no longer a part of the kingdom because the king can't stand goblins and they made a special treaty, and you just keep going on. It just snowballs, and it's all because of what the players do. If you want the players to feel like they're a part of the world, then you make them a part of the world. The world adapts to what they've done.
Yeah. Players need, yeah, like you said, they are part of the world. And basically, if players weren't there, then all of the evil bad guys come to fruition. Everything they do, everything they touch should what happens because bad guys are not getting what they want.
Very well said. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, I had initially planned for this evening that at the end of tonight's session, I was going to, as we said goodbye to everybody, I was going to put up pictures of all the people that we had lost, along with a background music of Sarah McLachlan. But I was like, no, we still have a couple days left, and I don't want to tempt 2016 to take more. I'm not going to try my luck. So, in that case, for myself and for Susie Q, I would like to thank Robert Adducci for coming to Game Masters 911. Thank you very much, sir.
For having me, it's been fun.
And I also want to let everybody know that from this point forward, in 2017 at least, the last episode of Game Masters 911 per month will have a new special guest. Our special guest for January is Doug Davidson, the owner of Smiteworks and the big wig at Fantasy Grounds himself.
Woot woot.
Nice.
So, yes? Did you have something else, Robert?
Oh, nope, I just said nice get.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. If you have any additional questions, please go ahead and pop into our Discord. I'm sure our mods will pop that up for you any second now. And for myself, for Susie Q, and for Robert, thank you very much for coming, and have a very good night.